Grant Cardone and Johnny Depp, they both had somebody say nasty things about them, and they both went to court to sue and get damages. Now, many of us remember the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard case. In that case, Johnny Depp sued Amber Heard because she claimed that he physically abused her, was sexually violent, said a lot of nasty things about him, and he said that was false. And he took her all the way to court, won, got a $15 million judgment in court. We all remember the verdict. Johnny Depp won. Now, the current news is about Grant Cardone. He filed a lawsuit against the former CEO of T-Mobile, John Legere, claiming that John Legere defamed him while the two of them were live on the Clubhouse app having a conversation with thousands of other people listening. Now, there's a transcript of this in the case, in the complaint. It's very interesting, and the words are crystal clear on what John Legere said about Grant Cardone. There is no dispute about what anyone said in this conversation. The dispute's going to come down to the law, the judge, and the jury in this case. All right, now here's what John Legere said about Grant Cardone. Called him a con man, scam artist. Said, I believe in the next year he's going to be found guilty of fraud.
I believe that Grant Cardone will be found guilty of fraud, and I want nothing to do with it.
John, do you know of anybody that I have been fraudulent to?
I think you're a fake.
This is John Legere in a conversation with Grant Cardone on the Clubhouse app. I mean, they are like talking live and arguing about this, and John Legere is going after Grant Cardone. Now, these are not two strangers. John Legere and Grant Cardone went into business together, and John Legere was actually promoting and helping promote 10X Health, a Grant Cardone product and business. I don't know what falling out the two of them had, but it's clear something happened. John Legere is clearly going after Grant Cardone right now. Now, Cardone's decision to file a lawsuit about this is bold. I'm going to go through the elements that he needs to prove in court to win this case. But the big news here is Grant Cardone is putting the spotlight back on him. He's going to be in court. There's going to be discovery. There's going to be investigations. There's going to be information coming out. Now, Cardone must be super confident in his position that these claims are false. And honestly, it's kind of a nice thing if you're a Cardone fan to see these out there protecting himself and his brand, and he's willing to go to court to prove it. Now, in defamation, the number one defense that anyone can say in a defamation case is truth is a defense. If John Legere is right, that is his defense, and Grant Cardone will not win. He will lose. He'll probably actually get attorney's fees awarded to John Legere. So there's a lot of risk here for Grant Cardone going down this path. But truth is a defense. They're going to have to get into the actual facts of the case and these statements that John Legere made. All right, now let's go over whatever the heck defamation is. This is what Johnny Depp had to prove. This is what Grant Cardone's going to have to prove in court. There are 4 key elements in a defamation case. First, you have to prove that there is a false statement, that what the other person said is a false and inaccurate statement. Second, it needs to be communicated to a third person. Well, there's lots of third persons involved on the Clubhouse app. John Legere also has a lot of social media comments he's put out there against Grant Cardone. Now, third, Cardone's going to have to show that John Legere was at least negligent in what he said. Typically, what's proven here is that he was reckless, that he didn't have a factual basis or information to make these statements, and therefore they were negligent in making that statement. Now, four, they have to prove that there was damages. Cardone's lawyers have already claimed there's over $100 million in damages as a result of John Legere's statements. John Legere is a well-known public figure, massive social media following himself, well-known in the business community, and that damage alone from someone like him, according to Cardone's claims, is over $100 million. Now let's go back to where the crux of the case is going to fall. It's clear there was damage to Grant Cardone. Whether it was truthful or not is one thing, but there's definitely been damage to Grant Cardone and his reputation. Now second, this was clearly communicated to a third person. This was on social media after all. Thousands of people heard this conversation live, and it was been reported on multiple times since. Now where the case is going to really focus on, was this a false statement? I mean, that's the primary thing Grant Cardone has to prove. Was this a false statement? Now, again, the defense to defamation is, it was truthful. What I said, even if it harms you, even if you have $100 million of damages, Grant Cardone, because of what I said, if I'm right, I have a defense, and you cannot prevail on your defamation claim. Now, here's what's going to happen in the case. John Legere has to answer the complaint. He might file cross claims on this or countersuits to this. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but he's got to file an answer to the claim. Then they're going to go through what's called the discovery process. The lawyers are going to go back and forth requesting documents, information. There's going to be depositions. Depositions are where you go under oath and lawyers ask questions. There's transcripts produced about that. Then they go into settlement negotiations. They may try to mediate the case, but eventually it will go to a jury trial. Now, similar to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, this could be a spectacle type of legal trial. And I don't know, Grant Cardone may freaking love this, actually. He'll go on the stand. It's going to go over like the Johnny Depp case. Who knows what the outcome will be, but there's going to be huge publicity, huge media spotlight, something Grant Cardone frankly loves. Now, no matter what side you are on this Grant Cardone, John Legere case, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, there's some really important lessons for everybody about what you post and say about others online. The first thing is, if you don't know something to be truthful that's negative about something, don't say it. Something negative about something could damage them. If a third party hears it, you could be held responsible or liable for it. And second, I know some people have their emotions get the best of them. They're angry about a business or some other person, and they get into writing a review, and there's lots of defamation cases like this, lots of legal actions filed against people filing reviews against companies where they're so pissed off, they start saying false things about the company because they really want to stick it to them. So you've got to be careful about the negative statements, information you say. If it is accurate, and if you can prove it, remember, truth is a defense. Now, a lot of people say, Matt, First Amendment, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is about the government not controlling speech between individuals. But you can certainly be harmed by a third party saying something negative about you. I mean, imagine you're CEO or you just own a small business and the former CEO of T-Mobile went out and said that you're a fraud across social media. That's probably going to damage your reputation. People are probably going to hear that and take note of that. Now, if it's true, John Legere is in the clear, and that's what this case is going to be about. We're going to be following this case and also providing any lessons that can be learned from what's happening in the litigation. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel where I'm providing wealth planning, tax, and legal planning every day over at Matt Sorensen.